Before starting this session, I would like to say you that this session would have been a very interesting one as we have a lot of things that we need to discuss on app development, and it is basically on the miniature of app development. See, basically, app development, what we get to know is totally on uh, Android Studio or your Java basics, right? But if you don't know Java, if you don't know Android, but you know a little bit of programming, you can grab things, then what you should prefer. So this is a very important point that comes into mind. And when these things comes into mind, we need to get some substitute of those things other than Android Studio and Java, right? So today we're going to discuss something that is other than those topics, and this thing could means anyone can design those things, anyone can make those things, make an app on its own without knowing the basics of Java or the basics of Android Studio. You don't require these all things. So, guys, let me tell you, we're gonna learn today MIT App Inventor. MIT App Inventor, let me just search on Google. You will find it much more easier. If I write MIT App Inventor, you will find out the app over here. And over here, you will find that this was a startup that was started by the MIT Media Lab. Okay, Google has also a development into it, and these are making things very easier, very means easier for the students, because those who don't know and those who want to develop a very small app, they can use this. Now you think something like this, like you want an app only to just when you are clicking it, and it should give a data, that's it. If you are clicking something, it should give a data. For this app, if you go to the app developer, it will take cost you around 20,000 to 25,000. But if you know the basics of MIT App Inventor, this is very easier for you to just make this app, this kind of app. And due to this, what happens? You will save a lot and lot of money. Now, let me go and click. I have clicked MIT App Inventor. Inside that, this website comes into play. Over here, you will find that how many active users this week, today, every statistics that they are going through. It's a very big platform that MIT people are going through. Now, you can contribute on your own, and their tutorials, many things are there. You can go through the website, but this is not where you develop. To develop the things, you need to click on this create apps. Now, when you click on this, it will redirect to you the login page, that is the Google login. I will log in through my own account. You can log in through your own. When I logged in, then it will be giving you an interface of my own projects. Now, these are all my projects. Now let me go back. Now, these everything is my own project. So you will not get a window like this, because you must, maybe you will be starting something new. So let me start a new project. Here you will click, you need to click over here, start a new project. When you click start a new project, you will be asked for the project name. Now, for writing project name, you need to remember it doesn't accept spaces. Okay, so it doesn't accept spaces, so we're going to write, for example, uh, testing. It will not accept spaces. You can see if I give a space, the project name cannot contain spaces. Testing will be used if continued. Okay, so I can write testing underscore if I want another name for testing app. So I will write testing app, and I will just press an OK. When I press OK, it will just open the app right over here. And when this app gets open, this is the window where we'll be working. Now, there are screens. Now, let me make you understand with each and everything out bit to bit. Now, over here, you can search the components. This is the palette. This is the viewer. That means how the user will be seeing the entire app. This is the entire designing tool, wherever you want to design it. Now, here we have different phone sizes, tablet size, monitor size, phone size, whatever sizes you have. Now, there are some components that are hidden also. So if you want to display all the hidden components, you can display right from here. I will tell you what are the hidden components and how to display them, and all the things. Now, there are screens. So this is screen one. Now you will find like what are the screens actually is. Like whenever you open an app, so first of all, let us take an example of Google. Okay, Play Store. When you open Play Store, then you find our display, that is the home page or the landing page, or you can say the screen one. So here we have the screen one. Okay, this is our landing page. Now when you click something on the board, it shifts to another page, it's redirect to another page, and that redirection is called your screen 2, means other screens. Now, if I add a screen right over here, you will find screen 1, then it will be adding screen 2. For example, I'm adding screen 2 right over here. I'm clicking add screen and I'm adding screen 2. When I add it, the window will restart and we will get screen 2 right over here. You can see now screen 2 is active. So if I switch on to screen 1, now screen 1 is active. So this is how different screens are linked, and you can redirect from one screen to other screen. There are some codes that need to be followed, but over here, you need to only drag and drop the codes. You need not to write the codes. Only you need to think the logic and implement it. It's damn easy to implement it through the this MIT App Inventor. So before going to the concepts, let me tell you, for web development or for app development, there are two parts basically. One is the front end, and another is the back end. So all sort of logics, all what sort of things that we make up is the back end part. Okay. Now, all the things that are coming in front of the users, for example, now you must be seeing my entire tutorial. So that is the version that you are seeing. But at the back end, many things are going on. And that is what the back end logic means. So the front end is visible to everyone, but the back end is not visible to anyone. It's only the concept, the logic that you build up and you write it down. Okay. So I hope you understood this much. And now let me move forward one by one. Now, over here, you have got the things like this is the name of the app that you are making. This is the in this name only you will find the app in your phone when you go through the phone. Now these are the screens. You can add a screen, you can remove a screen. These all things are there. Now this is the component bar. I will come to it. Before that, I will just finish the nav bar. So now this is the designer. So this section is something that we are seeing right now. This entire section is the designer section, and that is the front end part. And when we click on the blocks, this entire section is the back end section that we call as the means the blocks over here in MIT. Now, first of all, we'll go deep into the designing section one by one and getting brief of each and every topics. Okay. Now over here we have the palettes. Now what is palette? This is the drag and drop things. Like if I want a button, I can drag a button over here, I will get a button. If I want a checkbox, I will drag a checkbox over here, I will get a checkbox. So these are the elements, nothing else, that needs to be dragged and used. Okay, so this is the palette where we have all the components or elements that we want. Okay, now sections are divided in this palette. I will come later on this. Before that, we could go next to the viewer. Now, I already told what is a viewer is. This is the entire front end that a user is gonna experience. Okay, this is the entire thing. Now, if we go on to the components, now what this palette consists of all the components, but this component over here consists of all the components that are used in this viewer screen. Are you getting me? I repeat it once again. This palette consists of all the components, but this component right over here consists of all the components used into this viewer screen. For example, if I used a button, then it will be showing that in screen one, we have a button. Okay, so this is the orientation where we'll find what is the orientation pattern of the entire screen. Are you getting me? So now these properties. Now what is this properties all about? This properties is the entire things that the screen has. Now if I pick screen one, then it is showing me the screen one properties. If I have a button over here, it will show the button properties. Similarly, it will show all other properties one by one, step by step. So this is what entire things are. Now coming to the palette once again. Now we will go to the sections that are divided into the palette. Okay. See, I won't waste a lot of time in giving you the theoretical things because I want you to learn practically. So we will discuss each and everything over here that is possible in practical format, not in the theoretical format. How buttons are used, how we are getting the data, everything gonna be used in the practical way, not the theoretical way. Okay, so now user interface. These are the several sections over here. We have user interface, we have layouts, we have media, we have drawing and animation, we have maps, we have sensors, we have social, we have storage, connectivity, and many things other. Okay. So now we can't discuss all the things because it is not possible in short session, because this is also not a very small thing, but yeah, it is easier than the other formats also. Okay. So what we have over here in the user interface, it consists of all the components that is means visible to the user. Like we have the buttons for button clicks, we have checkboxes for you can take an example. This is a checkbox right over here. Display hidden components. This is a checkbox. So these all things. Now date picker gives you the date picking concept. Images provides you a section for image. Labels is something you can call text box, that you can call as a label over here. Now list picker is something that you can imagine a to-do list. Like you entered something, you entered, and then a list is created. So that's what a list picker is all about. Okay, are you getting me? So this is what a list picker is. And similarly, we have the next thing, that is a list view. Now, list view is something similar to the list picker. In the list picker, we pick one component from a list, but a list view is something that we give many visibility options to the list. For example, the to-do list once again. If we click enter, it continuously increases one by one step. That is a list view. Okay. So in the list, we will discuss one by one. If possible, we will make a to-do app, not with all the functionalities, but
I'm not
yes, with
get
some of
your
the
sound.
functionalities. Okay, so this is what we can do right in this. And if we move forward, then what we have a notifier. Now, what is this? If you want to see to it, you have a very long description. What is the notifier? It's an alert dialogues and everything that you can go through it. If you, for example, if you don't know what is this component is, it is a very good orientation they have made over here. That when you click over here, you can get all the distance. Now, if you want more information, how to use it and why to use it and where to use it, now over here you will find a more information dialog. Now you will just click on this, it will redirect to all the events it goes, all the properties it goes. Now it has a property of background color, now
Not
these all
hearing
things.
your sound properly.
Now these all things
Excuse
are
me.
there. So over here we discuss like this. When you go to the events, now you find all the events
Excuse
right
me,
over
I'm
here.
not
You go get
hearing your sounds properly.
okay, guys, if you're not audible, please check on your audio, because from my section, the audio is all clear. So just check on your audio. Okay. If you are not, if you are audible, just let me know in the comment section that you are audible. Okay. So I got the information that my audio is audible. So I will just move forward. Uh, so now over here we have something like the properties, the events, the methods. Now what are these methods? These are the functions that are predefined function with this property of buttons. Sorry, we are just having the notifiers. Okay. So this is how we can go and research on the things, how to go and design the things. But these are the higher versions. We won't touch this much of versions over here. Okay, we'll just move on with the things now. Now we have password text box. This we will use when we are designing a login interface. Okay, now we have sliders. These are the sliders that we have, that we know. Now spinners is something that the loaders that we call. When the screen is loading, the spinners work into account. If you want me to show, I can show you. See, you can go and add the items right over here, and it will work accordingly. So these are the spinners. Okay. So now I'll just delete it. The switches are on and off switches. These all things, whatever you want to make, these are the switches. Text box is something similar to label, but in label and text box, the difference is text box will be uh, user defined, means user can enter some details into the text box. Okay, but the label is something predefined by the programmer. Like the screen one, you can say the screen one over here written is a label, but if I give some input box over here, that is a text box. Okay, now time picker is something like date picker. It's a date. You can select date over here, you can select time in the time picker. Now web viewer is something like it will show your app as a web view. Okay, now, coming user interface consists of this many things. See, you cannot make a professional app development through this MIT, but yes, for practicing, for making small developments, you can prefer this MIT app development very easily. Okay, now if we move forward with the layout section, in this layout section we have horizontal. These are the actually orientation of the things. Now we have horizontal arrangement, we have horizontal scroll arrangement, we have table arrangement, we have vertical arrangement, we have vertical scroll arrangement. Now what are these things? The horizontal arrangement is something allows us to arrange the components horizontally. Okay. For example, if I have a component right over here, then I can have a component right over here in a horizontal manner. Okay, in a landscape manner, you can see. Now, horizontal scroll component is something like it will provide you an horizontal scroll event. If you have more than 10, for example, you can take an example of sliders. Okay. Now you have small sliders. Now, when you slide it for horizontally in a landscape mode, then it will find more components coming step by step. So that is what horizontal scroll arrangement is. It will allow you a horizontal scroller. Now, table arrangement is something a grid system which allows you both the horizontal as well as the vertical arrangement all together. So this is a grid system. Now we have the vertical arrangement. Now this allows the same thing as a horizontal arrangement. It gives you the means thing of using the vertical components, means arranging the things in a vertical way manner. Now we have the vertical scroll arrangement. And now vertical scroll arrangement is similar to like scrollable. You're making the screen scrollable, but it has a difference of making the entire screen scrollable and making a section scrollable. You have seen certain sections that are inside that section. We have something to scroll on. Okay, you can take an example. Let me give you an example. Like over here, we have the entire screen scrollable. Okay, but if you make something scrollable inside the screen, then this will scroll something in a different manner other than this entire screen. So that is what a section scrollable is. So with the layout, a vertical scroll arrangement, we are making a section scrollable and not the entire screen. Okay, now we have several other things like media. We will not go very deep into this because these are the hard versions of this. You can use a lot of things like you can use the camera of your smartphones. You can record the cameras. You can record the voice. You can record speech, and many other things. You can use the players, many other formats. Now there are drawing and animations. For this is used for animating an object like of things. Okay, small objects you can animate. Now you can use maps. You can use markers. This is entirely an orientation of mapping. Okay, now you have several sensors, predefined sensors given into it. You can use these sensors for your convenience. Now we have social. Now social is something like you can use the contacts of your smartphones, the access that you get. Okay, like when you click I'm getting the I want the contact details, so it gives you the tells you that give the access of your phone contacts. Now when you press OK, then it gives the access. So this is entire thing. You can use the contacts, you can use the email, you can use the sharing. When you click, you can share to the WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. So that those all options come over here in the social criteria. Now, storage is a very important thing. You can have text storage, you can have cloud storage, you can have TinyDB, that is the local storage. And now you have Tiny WebDB, that is, you can say, a type of cache in your website. Okay. So this is all these storage ideas. Now you have get a new thing over here. You have the Firebase DB storage for an experimental purpose. It has been used over here, Firebase DB. You can go through documentation for if you want to enable this Firebase DB storage. But on the maximum, we will use with the TinyDB means on the next session, because we if you want to make the login system, then login system needs to store the data. Okay, so we're going to use the TinyDB. Now, if you go to the connectivity, then you have a lot of connectivity. Now, where these connectivities will come for, when you use hardware concepts, like if you want to access websites, if you want to access the Arduino, if you want to access the Bluetooth, then these all things will be there in access. If you are very familiar with the Arduino and you use like Bluetooth controllers, then you can make those Bluetooth applications right from this MIT App Inventor using this Bluetooth client and Bluetooth server. And it is also helpful not for Arduino but also for Node MCU. This web right over here gives a very good experience of connecting the entire local server right with your application. So these are the some things that are there in the palette section. I hope you understood every concept of the palette section. And now I will move to the components. Now there I've already explained you. You can upload a media right over here. Now we'll go with the settings. Okay, we're gonna go with the settings of the screen. Now, when we have the screen, we can have some description about the screen. This is not user defined. This is defined to us that what we want to give a description. That if you design an app and you come after 2 to 3 years, and if you will visit back to the app, then you will find that you will not knowing how what you have designed it for. So for that purpose, we can give the description. For example, if I'm writing that testing all interfaces, this is my objective of this app. Now you can have a default color right over here. This is the accent color. You can align the things like align horizontal, align vertical, these all things. Okay. Now you can change the app name right over here. What we have made a testing app right over here, it will get changed. Now you can select the background colors. This we can connect. Like if you make a black, then this will become black. If you make something blue, then this will become blue. So this is what the background colors we can change. We can select. Now we can also select the custom colors. Like if you want to make I have a very good color choice like F1, F1, F1. This is a grayish color. If I make this, then this entire orientation will be gray. Okay. Now we can have a background image. You just click on upload a file. If you upload an image, it will cover the entire background thing. Okay. So if you can want, you can use your icons. There are many things like primary color dark, everything are there. Means there are some orientations that are by default given to it, that this is dark, this is light. So according to that, it will use these default colors right over here. Okay, if you want a screen animation, for example, when the screen pops up, means when the screen opens, you want to fade it. So it will open in a fade manner. Okay, this is what screens are. Now, screen orientation. Now, how the screen should orient. Like if you want to switch to a landscape, then for example, if you go to the PUBG game and other gaming applications, you will see whenever you click on the gaming application, it will just switch to the landscape mode. That means it has been predefined that when you switch on the application, it will switch to the landscape mode. Now you have portrait mode that it cannot be switched to landscape mode. Always it will be in a portrait mode. Now you have sensor mode and you have user mode. Now user mode is something like whatever user feels like. If you want to feel in a landscape mode, if you want to feel in a horizontal mode, then it can a portrait mode. It will be his or her own choice. Okay. Now sizing. How the sizing is the sizing going to be fixed? That means if you're going to fix the sizing, then it will just open at this size 500, 500, 320, because you have designed it for this size only. But if you make it responsive, then it will be opening in different sizes of phones. Okay, it can be opened in Galaxy, it can be opened in MI, it can be opened in Vivo and all other stuffs like all other things. Okay. So this is what responsive is. Now, theme is something like which type of theme you wanna. You're gonna use a dark theme. You can use a dark theme. You can use a classic theme. It will use a classic theme. Now, you won't get much difference when you are clicking on this, because when you go and use these things, then only will find the difference. Whenever you are developing the app, then only will find these things efficient and different. Now, title visible or not. Now, what is this title? This title is the screen. For example, I make this title as testing. Then what happens? This title over here will change to testing right away. You can see it has been changed to testing. And when I make this title not visible, then it will give you that this screen title is not visible. Okay. So these are the things that are very much usual with us. Now, if you have a tutorial URL, you can use those URL, version code, everything you can give it to her. This is something like the download link, where you will be people will be downloading it, will giving you the version details and all the stuff. So this is what comes over here, right, in this. So I believe the screen is all over, and now we'll move to the user interface. Now coming to the user interface, we have a button over here. So if we bring, see, we need to just do one thing. We need to just click and drag it and place it right over here. Okay. When you're placing it, this button click is just executed, and you will find that this is clickable. Now you will find in this component that there is a section button over here in the component section. When you click on the button, you will find all the details related to the button. Now, what is the background color of the button? If you want to change it, you can change it. So it will change the background color. Okay. So you can change it according to your choice. You can change it to custom. Let me give you a custom color. Like if I provided this color and I'm just done, so it will provide you with this particular color. Okay. Now we have a background custom color. Now we'll give a font color also. Now one by one. If you want the font bold, then you can put it on a bold. So you will find the orientation to be bold right over here. If you want the font italic, then you can put it in the italic. If you don't want, then just put it on. Okay. Now you can increase the sizes. If you write 24, then it will give increase the size. If you put a lesser number of size, then it will put you like 20. It will reduce the size. So this is how the sizes are there. Now, if you wanna go for the changing the means text type, typographic, so you can use sans serif, or else you can use serif. You can see the text format gonna be changed. If you use monospace, this is gonna be changed. So this is how you can, if you use default, so default is sans serif, so sans serif is implemented. Now, height and width, these are taken automatic. For example, you want a button to cover the entire screen, which you basically we don't want. But if you want it, then you can use the fill parent. If you use this, then it will cover the entire screen. Okay, fill parent in the height, that means it will cover the entire height screen. Now, if you use like if you define some pixels, like if you write 20 and the 20, if you want to give the in pixels, it will provide you 20 pixels. Okay, like this. If you want to give it to the percentage, you can give the percentage. Now percentage, what benefit the percentage will have, it will differ as per the screen sizes. If the screen size is bigger or smaller, it will differ as per it. Now if you give it 20%, and if you press it to the enter, now this is the 20% of the screen. Now if you change the screen size, like if you make it tablet size, then the size will increase. If you make this to monitor size, then size will increase much more. It is a 20% of the entire screen. Are you getting me? So I will just keep it to the phone size, and this is I will just make it to the automatic. That is better. Okay. Now this is done. Now, width, coming to the width, now width has also the same thing. If you want to fill up the entire landscape, means horizontal way, you can use the fill parent, or else you can use the pixels right over here. You can pixels or percent values right over here. You can use those. So this is what the thing is. Let me you keep it on this way only. Now, if you want to give a background image to this, you can use those image right over here. You can upload an image. Now, shape. If you want the button to be rounded, it will be a rounded button. If you want the button to be some other manner like oval, then it will be an oval button. So this is how you can change the shape. There are fixed things because I told you this is not for uh, professional website development, but only for an application for learning the development, app development, okay, and meeting the basic requirement of applications. Okay, now if you want to change the buttons like test button, I'm just making this test button, and if I press and now it will be a test button. You can change the text color, what I meant to say over there. Now we're changing the text color to white. Sorry, I made it none. I want to make it white, and now this is white. So it looks a little pretty than the previous one. Okay, so this is how the button orientations are. Now let us go to the checkbox. Okay, now let me go to the checkbox first. Okay, now coming to the checkbox. So if I go to the checkbox, if I could drag it over here, we'll find something like text for checkbox one. Now this text is something like the properties of the checkbox. Now you can have the background color. You can check or uncheck by default what you want you want to make. You can do this, and you can have the font size bold or minimal. That is onto you. The font sizes are over here. The type of font, the height and width, all are automatic. So these are on your choice. Now this content, if you just want to change this content like uh, remember, no, check status. This will be a better thing. So if I write it like check status, so it will this button work is to give provide me the status of the check part, right? So if you want to change the text color, it is on your choice. You can change it according to your orientation. Okay. So now these is all the things. Now if you have a date picker, if you click it, you will find text for date picker. Now when this will be clicked, now when you click over here, this is not clickable. But when you click in an application, means when you export this as an application, this will be clickable. Now this is image. When you bring it, it will give you an option for the image. Now when this its property will come, you will find that what is the scale of the image. Now picture, this picture gives you to upload an image. If you upload an image, this will give you this section. Okay, now you can make this image clickable. You can make a scale fit to screen and everything, all other stuffs, everything. Now label, this is what we're going to use. So I want to make this. Now this is something like a constant static, and all other things are over the same. We have background color, we have fonts, we have margins. Now this can have margin or no margins. Now what are the margins? The spaces, the negative spaces right over here, that are the margins. Okay, now you can change the text for label, that like test label. So this is how we can make it. So it will give you the static labels, and you can means, change those label text through the backend part. That is here. Now you have alignments. Now you can go to center, you can go to the right. Now these are the things. Now if you want to align this text in this entire screen at the center, so how you're going to do? You're going to make this fill parent. Now this is fill parent, and now you're going to make this to the center. Now in the entire screen, what you have, the width is taking cover of the entire screen width, and we are taking the center of this entire screen. Now I told you one thing, that on screen there is orientation. Okay, now let me find out the orientation. It was somewhere right over here. Yeah, align horizontal or align vertical, wherever you want. If I make the center, then all the things will be coming to center in the entire screen, because I'm making the changes in the screen, not in a component. I'm just making the changes in a screen. Okay, if I don't want to the top, I want to the bottom, then it will start from the bottom. Okay, if I want to center, then from the vertical also it will start from the center, and the horizontal also it will start from the center. So this is what the alignments are. Now I will make this alignments as it was previously, and I won't just use it now. Now there are list picker. There is using this, you will, if you click it, then it will show you several lists that you can pick from. Now there is list view. Now this is something like the text. Now how this is used? This is something like you have an element right over here, like text, and if you press enter, then it will give you text. But if you have a lot of elements like, let me write anything. Now, if I press enter, you can see that it is coming in the same line. It is not giving you the next list view. Means the list view means if it gives you one list, then again it will give you another list if the next line comes into play. So to refer to the next line, you need to press a comma. When you press a comma, it will take it as a next element and will create another list view. Okay, so you can see it has created another list view. Now, this is an example of vertical scrollable because it is by default the vertical scrollable arrangement. You can see whenever we increase the list, like I put a comma and again I increase the list. So it's giving us the vertical scrollable object, means it's not apart from the entire screen. Okay, are you getting me? So this is what the list view. Now, coming to the next thing, the notifiers, these all things we'll discuss later on. If I go on continuously with these things, then it will be a mess because you won't understand these things. Now, before coming to the next topic, I will just go to the layout and explain you how this layout works on. Okay, so we have horizontal arrangement. Now, what this horizontal arrangement is, so let me delete all this one by one. Let me delete all this. We'll start with a fresh thing. I'm about to finish all the deletions and this button. That's it. Now I will take an horizontal arrangement and I will put it over here. Now what this is there is a box, but it will align the components horizontally. Okay. Now if you want to arrange two buttons right out of this box I'm just typing, if you want to arrange two buttons side by side, it is not possible. You can see I'm putting it in on the side, but it is not possible to orient this button side by side. But using this horizontal arrangement, we can have it. Like if you put on over here, and then if you want to put on the side, you can put it right over here. You can put another button and put it right over here. So this will give you horizontal arrangement. You can see if you put another button, you can put right over here. This is giving you horizontal arrangement. Now, but you cannot see other buttons. Now, what is the reason? This arrangement, horizontal arrangement, provides you a fixed space horizontally to arrange horizontally. Now, if I change this to the horizontal scroll arrangement, now if I make this button right over here, if I make this button right over here, then I'm keeping on doing this thing. Then when I will place this app in my application view, when I will export it, it will provide me the scrollable horizontal view. When I scroll it from right to left, it will provide me all the views. Okay, so this is what horizontal scroll arrangement is. Now, I will tell you practically also. I will just explain you practically also. I'm just explaining you the points first, and then we will just go and export the app. We'll learn how to export the app, and we'll make these things practical. Okay. Now we have the tabular arrangement. Now this is a grid system arrangement. Before going to the tabular arrangement, I will go to the vertical arrangement because you could see whenever we pick and put a interface right in the horizontal box, it provides you the arrangement in the horizontally. It doesn't allows you to put something in the vertical manner. And over here in the orientation, you can see the first horizontal arrangement is kept aside empty. The second horizontal scroll arrangement consists of this many buttons, and now we have vertical arrangement right over here. So we'll again click on the buttons right and we'll put one by one. You can see it's aligned vertically. Okay. There is no horizontal. Whenever I keep it somewhere, it is just aligning it vertically. And this is what the vertical arrangement is all about. Okay. Now if we move forward, like to the vertical scroll, this is similar to the scrollable component that it's going to be placing. Like now we are overpowering the screen, okay, the screen size. So we can make the screen as scrollable. Now over here, when we click on the screen, we'll find the properties, and inside these properties, if you make the screen scrollable, so what happens now, there is a scroll bar right over here active. Now we can scroll the screen as per our requirement. Okay, so now this is vertical scrollable scroll arrangement, and if we put some buttons over here, it will make this particular section as scrollable. Okay, if we make some, sorry, let us not use a checkbox. This is not good to use a checkbox in a scrollable part. Now we'll use the buttons, and it's making it scrollable. Okay, it will make it scrollable. So this is what vertical scroll arrangement is all about. Now, there is some over here, you can see vertical scroll arrangement. Now you can fix the height, you can fix the width. So after that height and width, it will make the thing scrollable. So this is what the alignment of this vertical scroll arrangement is. You'll find this arrangement properties right over here when you click it. Okay. So now, if we have completed with the layout, we'll go with the last layout that we have, that is the table arrangement. See, layout is the only thing that is very much important. I'll just keep it lower at the last. Yeah. So this is our table arrangement. And if you want the buttons over here, then you can find that we can put it in the horizontal way also. Like if you put it over here, this is the horizontal way. If you want to put in the lower part, is the vertical way. Now, the properties of this, how many rows and columns it will accept, it has the consist of over here in the properties of the table arrangement, right over here. When you click this, come to the properties, you will find how many number of columns and how many number of rows you want to make through the this table arrangement. So this tells you how to work on this. Okay. So now let me explain you how to export the application. Okay, how to export this application. So for exporting this application, we have 2 points. Okay. First, for checking, we have an emulator, we have an USB, we have AI companion. Okay. Now, AI Companion is an application in your Android or iOS smartphones where if you install that application from Play Store or App Store, you can directly access this entire things right over there in the your screen. Okay, this is what AI Companion does. Now, emulator is something you need to download for a system which will convert it something an emulator software which will run the application on your system only. It will make own um, phone, Android or iOS, and it will create the application and it will run it over there. Now, USB is something connecting your phone to the system, and you can go to the USB threading network to run your application. So this is something like you're gonna reset the connection, hard reset, reset companion. These all you will learn one by one when we go for it. Now build, there is another option. Now build is something installing the application directly on your computer or else on your mobile phone. So this is what the build is. Okay. So it will just give you the APK and you can use those APK file to install it. So the final product, you can build it and give the application and share it to all your friends. But while the testing mode, we just use AI Companion. Sometimes what happens due to network issue or some other issues, this AI Companion doesn't work. So at that time, what you can do, you can directly build it and use those applications and you can find this error. Now, you might be thinking that what is the benefit of using AI Companion rather than building it? Now, whenever you make certain changes right in the application, if you make any changes, if you make a button, if you create a button, if you remove a button, all those application changes will be directly shown on your application if you use AI Companion. I will just show you how what I am telling it. So first of all, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go for AI Companion. So for going for AI Companion, what we need to do, we need to just install the app from the Play Store, AI Companion, and I will just click on this AI Companion window. Okay, so I got a QR code right over here, and now I will just switch this screen to the mobile screen so that it's visible to you. I will be just switching my screen to the mobile screen. Just it's taking its own time as the connection issues. Okay, So we have our screen right over here, and you can find that this is some application that we can see over here, that is MIT A to AI2 Companion. When I click this application, it will provide ask me continue. I will just continue without Wi-Fi right over here. And when I continue without Wi-Fi, then it will be giving you two methods, like connect with code or scan QR code. Now I will just scan the QR code that I got. I will just scan it. So I just click on the scan QR code, and it is just giving me the QR code. You can use this your code, this code directly also. And now you will find that I'm just getting this code, and we will get our system connected. Okay, we are getting our system connected right over here, and we got our system connected. Okay, and you will find that all the things that we have. Now I told you this is horizontally scrollable. You can see we are able to scroll it horizontally. Now this is not vertically scrollable. This is because we haven't fixed its height and width. Now if we just fix this vertical arrangement to scrollable, now we can use this height and width. Okay, so you just be a little relaxed, because now we'll just switch on many screens. We'll switch on the screen between our system and our mobiles by step by step. Now, if I just you just get to know, I'm just switching on the title. Okay. Now I haven't installed it, but I'm using it directly live. So I'm just switching on the screen title visible, which we have switched off. Now you will find that we have got this testing right over here. So you can see that if we make any changes on our system, it will directly replicate those changes over here. So this is the best thing to use as a, means you can say, as an orientation thing. Okay, so this is the best thing. Now I will just switch on the screen to the system. So let me just switch it on to the system. Okay, so here we have the screens right over here, and you can see we have made this title as visible, and it is going to be visible right over there. Okay, so now we will make a very small app, maybe with a checkbox and the button, anything. So let us go for the button first. Let us go for the button first. So either we can make a new project, or else you can use this project, but I have made a lot of things over here. So I will just make a new project. Okay. So I will go to my project. I will start a new project, and I will write button click. So we're gonna do something with the button click. Now, coming with the things, because this is the simplest thing what we can have today. So this is our screen orientation. All things are same. We don't want it to be scrollable and make any changes in the properties of the screen. So we'll just drag a button, but before dragging a button, it should be in a step-by-step orientation. So first of all, we'll just go to the horizontal orientation, and we'll come over here, and we'll keep a button over here. Before that, we want the button to be filled. So I will just make this horizontal arrangement with to be fill parent, so that it will fill the entire parent cell. And now we drag a button over here. Now the horizontal arrangement is parent filled, but the button is right over here. So what we can do, we can go for the width and make it to fill parent. If you make this to the fill parent and press enter, so it will cover the entire button. If you want to change the button uh, colors and all, you can do it over here, right over here. Like if I make a custom color, like 370364, if I make this, and this is good. And if I want to make a height a little more, you can make the changes. Like if I want to make it 15%, then it's very less. If I want to make it 25%, then let's see. So let me fix it to 30 pixel. Okay, so this is good. Now we'll just make this color to white, text color. We have changed all the things. Now this is clickable. Okay, now we need to do, we want something to be done when this button is clicked. Okay, so for doing something when this button is clicked, we can have a label. And what is our thing is that we can have an horizontal layout again. We can have an horizontal layout. We can put this label inside this layout, and we will have this component invisible. If you make this component invisible, then what happens? This will not show you the component. If you make this component visible, it will show you the components. So this is what the visibility and invisibility is. So let me write the button. First of all, let me make changes in the button. Let me write the text as click button. Now I will just make this text right over here to label as button clicked, button not clicked. Let it be button not clicked. Okay, button not clicked. So So this is what we're going to change. Or when we click the button, we're going to change this text to the button clicked. And if you want to click this button, means if you don't click this button, means we're going to change it to the button clicked or once this button is clicked. Okay. If you want to change it like whenever the button is clicked once, then it will show you the button clicked. Whenever it button clicks twice, it will show you button not clicked. So this is also possible, but it will take a longer time. So I won't waste those time because you need to do a lot of things in a very short period of time. Okay. So now what we will have, we want that when this button is clicked, this text label should get changed. Okay. From button not clicked to button clicked. This is our motive. Now we'll come to the backend part right over here, blocks. Now inside this blocks, we have the button, we have the label that needs to be changed. So you can see we have the control statements like if, else, then, this, block, everything over here. Now this control statements are all consist of the for loop, while loop, if, else, do, while, everything. Okay. Now the logic consists of true, false, if you want to check equals to, and, or, everything is the logic. Now mathematics operations are over here right in this maths. Now I'll just delete this. You can use the delete keyword or else you can right click on the things and you can use it. Okay. Now we have the text. If you want to compare the text, if you want to make to uppercase, lowercase, and everything reverse, empty, everything is just right over here. Now list is something that is familiar with the Python people. You can use those lists right over here. We will use it if we are making this to-do app. We're going to use the list orientation also. Now, dictionaries is something also that are visible with Python. It is something consists of two values, either one a key value and the key value pair, what we can call. So the keys are the unique identifiers of the thing. For example, your registration number is a key value, and the values are your name, your father's name, your address, your phone number. Everything are the values inside that key of your registration. So that is what a dictionary is. It consists of several keys and each key consists of several values. Okay, the key cannot be repeated, it is a unique identifier. Now there are several colors that you're going to use. You can use variables if you want to create your own variable, get a variable value, and everything are over here. Procedures, these procedures are not required right now, but if you are using like making functions, if you're calling functions, so at that time you will use these procedures to use it. Okay. Now we have a screen one. If you want to do something when the screen one is done or clicked or something other things, then you can do it right over here. If you don't want to do something with the horizontal arrangement, you can do all the things. You can click it and get all the things. But what we require, we want something to be done when the button is clicked. Now here we have a very many things, like when the button is focused, when the button is long clicked, when the button is clicked, when its button is touch down, touch up, many things are there. Okay. So now we want something to do when it's clicked. So we'll just drag it and keep it right over here in the space. Now what we want to do, we want to change the label if it is clicked. Okay. So when the button is clicked, we're gonna go to the label and we're gonna set the label. Now set label. Now what we're gonna set, we want to set the text of the label. We can change the background color, margin, everything one by one. So we're gonna change the text of the label. So the text, and what we want to make text is we will go to the text over here and we can write it down the text over here. Like we want the text is button clicked. Okay. Now this is how the button is clicked, and when we click the button, then this is gonna be saved. Now we have made in the designer that this is visible. Okay, if you make this invisible, so first step what we need to do, we need to make it visible and then we need to show it. Okay, so that won't do right now. We'll just have made that when the button is clicked, this text will change to button click. Okay, so I'm just connecting again back to the AI companion. So I'm just switching my screen. So I will just continue without Wi-Fi, and right over here I will scan the code. So I have scanned the code, and let me see. It may take certain time. Sometimes it may be quicker. Sometimes, so it depends. So it's loading. I can see it on the main screen that it's getting loaded, and it's done. And soon we'll get the orientation. So here we got the orientation. Now we use the pixels, right? We use the pixels, and now according to my phone size, the pixels are not enough to orient it. So I will just make the button to automatic hide as automatic, and I believe this will work fine with us. So now this is done. So I will just get this like when this button is clicked, like I'm just clicking this button. So you can see the text change to button clicked. You can see the text, it's changed to button click, but when I'm clicking again, it is not showing this. Now what this happens, now if I want to refresh it, I will just refresh the companion screen. So it will just refresh everything and everything will be all fine. So I told you there is a refresh, reset and hard reset. So refresh is something I will just refresh the screen like the original screen, and again when I click, it will change it. So this is what we are getting the data. How we gonna change, where we gonna change, and which. So what we have done, I will just switch back to the screen. So let me just switch back to the screen. So over here you will find out that when we are clicking this button, we are just changing this text. And how we have done this? With such a simple step that when button 1 is clicked, set label 1 text to button clicked. Now let us take an example like if you want something like checkbox, if you we have the orientation of the checkbox. So let me make another horizontal arrangement, and over here I will just take a checkbox, and I will again take a label. I will not take any arrangement this time. You can take the arrangement, it's upon you. So when checkbox is pressed, I will want the text of the label to be changed to checkbox checked, and if checkbox is not checked, then it will change checkbox not checked. So this is what I want to do, and for doing this, I need to I need to just design this code according to this thing. Okay, so just let me go to this blocks right over here, and over here I will find the checkbox. I will just if you don't want to remove this orientation, that is fine. If you want to remove this orientation, you can remove this according to your choice. Okay, so what we need to do, we'll go to the checkbox right away, we'll click it, and there we find many options like checkbox change, get focus, lost focus. So what we want the status of the checkbox. If the status of the checkbox is changed, we want the output. Now, if a checkbox is changed, we're gonna check if it is checked or unchecked. Okay, so how are we gonna do? First of all, we're gonna go to the control statement. We're gonna find if and else. Okay, if this happens, then this will happen. This statement denotes this. Okay, so now what we want to check if checkbox is checked or not. Now we'll come to the checkbox and we'll take any of this option where it will find checkbox 1, and we'll go with the check property. We'll change the property to check. Now what we are saying, if we are seeing that if checkbox 1 is checked, we'll just connect this to right over here. Now, if checkbox 1 is checked, we're going to find that if it is true or false. So for that, we're going to have something logic right over here, that if it is true, then we need to do something. Now, Binding this together, again, we require a logic, and that is an equals to logic. We'll just keep on this right over here. So this tells us the first thing is equal to the second thing, then only this then block will come into play. So we'll check it that if, sorry, we'll just drag it and clip it over here. If checkbox checked, then we're gonna make it as true. That is, if this checked is true, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna do something. And if it is not true, then we're gonna do something. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set label right over here. So we are using the label to right over here. So we'll just set label, and now we want the property text. We want to change set text. So we'll make this change to text. There are many other properties like background color, font size. I've already told you. So we're gonna make this text, and what this text should be, it should be checked. Okay. Now, if this is not true, that means it is false. So there is only one condition. So I will just click on this settings right over here in the if block, and I will click on this else and drag it to and connect to the this if block. Now what happens to this? I'm getting a block over here else. If you want to click on else if, you can go for else if. If you want to click on else, you can go for else. Okay. So I will just go for else, and over here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna set duplicate it. Now, how to duplicate it? We'll just right click on this, click on the duplicate, and it will duplicate this. So I will just connect this and change the text to unchecked. Now I changed the text to unchecked. This is not two words, this is single word. So I will just rectify my mistake. Yeah, so this is unchecked. So now what we have done, when this checkbox is changed, the status is changed, it will check out if the checkbox is ticked or checked. If it is true, then we're gonna put on check. If it is not true, then we're gonna put on unchecked. So our code is ready, our designing tool is ready, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna connect our AI companion. So I will just switch on my screen. So over here, I will just open this, and I will just check this text box. So when this text box is checked, I must have got this label right over here, text for label 2. Let me see if there are some mistakes that we have made. This should have worked. If we are making the, okay, let me switch on the screen. Let me switch the screen. Okay, I have just switched the screen. And now if we are clicking this changed, checkbox 1 changed, then we are making the label to text changed. So this must work. Let us go for the checking one by one, step by step. We are using this label 2 right over here, and label 2. If we are removing this, mm, there may be some mistakes that we have made. Try to switch again. So these mistakes come into play, and there is a very small mistake, and we need to find out that mistake. So you can see the processing does like this. It will take this way, this manner of time. So I got the screen, and okay. So the mistake was that we are giving a predefined text to this checkbox, and now if I switch my screen to this, let me switch my screen. You will find things. So I'm just switching my screen on. So here we start with the screen and we go to the MIT. And right over here, you will find that when we are putting this text, that's telling us checked, and we are just putting this unchecked, it's giving us unchecked. So you can find that we are just getting this checked, changed, unchanged. And if this button is also working, when we click on this button, it is giving the clicked. Okay. If we refresh this, then it will give you the by default value, whatever is the by default value. So I'm just refreshing the companion screen. So it will give you the button not clicked. When I click it again, it will give you check. And when I click the button, it will give you button. So this is how this entire checking tool and unchecking tool works on. So we won't go much deep today because there are many things that we want to make. Now, in the next session, what we want to make is an Ohm's law converter. Now, what is an Ohm's law? It's a V equals to I into R, right? So this will convert the V is equals to I into R. Now, how it will convert? We're gonna do this. If the voltage and current is given, we need to find out resistance. If the resistance and current is given, we need to find out voltage. So these things we're gonna make it. Now, after going to this, we will make something like a login system. And after making a login system, if the time permits, then we'll go with the to-do list. Okay. So for today, we're gonna have this much over here. But in the next session, we're gonna make three main projects. One is a calculator that is a, you can say, Ohm's law calculator. The second is a login system, basic login system. And the third is what you can say is the to-do list. Okay, these three will be helping you a lot, and we can means get a lot of things when these all things are going on. Okay, so hope we meet in the next session very soon. So thank you guys. So we'll just switch off the screens. Thank you.